Hey, today we're going to tell you how the Brittany Griner exchange for is it Lord of War? It's the Merchant of Death.
Merchant of Death.
The most dangerous man in the world.
That's me.
Trading for the person who symbolizes America, according to Joe Biden. We're going to talk about that. We're going to tell you how we're now the laughing stock of the world. We weren't already. We're going to talk about a lot of hot takes, and then Twittergate. Is it Twittergate? No, it's Twitter Files.
Twitter Files.
We're going to get into the details of the Twitter Files. It's Tuesday drop, Tuesday morning, December the 13th. Patio's a little light today. We've got Gary's now got the flu. He's been sick for a while. I think maybe he's being poisoned. We might need to check on his wife. DW's only with us for a short time. He's had some emergency. He's got to get out of here. But first thoughts and prayers out to the head coach, Mike Leach, the Pirate from Mississippi State. If you've been living under a rock or not a fan of sports, then you don't know. But he new details come out. He's apparently suffered a massive heart attack, critical right now, and no one really knows how that plays out. So thought and prayers out to the Leach family and Mississippi State football team. We get caught up in who wins a game, but there's life going on behind the scenes there. So
yeah, now the Pirate's not an old man, if I'm not mistaken.
61 years old.
61.
Yeah, so he's not. But, it's a high-stress job that he's in, college football. I think they basically work 24 hours a day, no sleep, just working. Thoughts and prayers go out to the Leach family.
Probably need to give some thoughts and prayers to Marty Ray. Lost his dad.
Yeah. Yep, Marty Ray's father passed away. He's a fan of the show. We're a fan of Marty Ray. Actually, on the same day as he dropped his Christmas album. So get out and check out Marty Ray's Christmas album. It's pretty good. It's on Spotify. So right as we were dropping our Thursday episode, there was some breaking news that took place. We were trying to get something out over the weekend, but got tied up, of course, personal things getting away. But we, the United States of America, specifically Joe Biden, brought an American home. I don't think anyone's upset they brought an American home.
No, not at all.
You can argue whether she was wrongfully being held.
Well, she wasn't wrongfully being held.
She broke the rules, right?
Yeah,
well, or did she? We don't know. I mean, I'm sure.
Well, she admitted to it.
Under duress.
She violated a law, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
for their country, but
we can disagree. We can disagree with how harsh the penalty was.
Yeah, it was definitely they utilized and took full advantage of the situation. And
that I believe that's the same sentence they sentenced all their citizens.
So, well, we've talked about it somewhat briefly, but I don't get your thoughts. DW, what was your first thought when you heard that we gave up the Angel of Doom, Angel of Death? Probably made that name up right now, but
that sounds cooler.
The Merchant of Death,
the Angel of Doom,
for a person symbolizing America.
They should have put that Marine in that package, and then they could have justified both sides of the equation and made.
There was a lot of discussion as to whether there could be a package deal, right? And I don't know about you, but if I'm the one negotiating here, I feel like the fact that I'm holding your Merchant of Death in my back pocket, I could probably get more than just the WNBA player.
You would think, but I don't think that was the goal. I'm sure there was lots of negotiations, and I'm sure they got more than just Brittany. They got more than just the Merchant of Death.
Or did he? Did
somebody got something else under the table?
We've been talking a lot about the Ukraine war. We've been talking about how Biden's tied to the Ukraine, about how he's in his back pocket. You bring up a good point. Did he trade the Merchant of Death for Brittany Griner and for them to lay off here on the Ukraine?
Well, I mean, in anything when we look at a trade, right? Even if you're just trading something with someone else, that trade's just lopsided. It's just a lopsided trade.
Yeah, I heard someone that said this is probably one of the best trades ever in the WNBA history.
It's the only trade that anybody knows about.
So what was your first thought, Barry?
They could have gotten Marine, Brittany Griner, and both sides would have been happy, like the political aisle anyway.
Shit,
right?
You would think by giving up the Merchant of Death that they could. All right, you're going to withdraw from the Ukraine. You're going to.
There's also a man though that's in there sentenced in 2021, sentenced last year for the same amount of marijuana. I can say this: stop taking marijuana to Russia.
Don't take stuff into foreign countries. If you travel into a foreign country, you have to understand and know the rules.
I'm gonna say this: unpopular opinion here. I'm not sure there's a balanced trade to release somebody who's responsible for millions of deaths.
Well, I heard, maybe, I don't know if it was Joe Rogan let's listen to. I heard someone make this comment, and it really like rung home with me. So we traded the merchant of death for Brittany Griner for possession of marijuana, basically.
Mm-hmm.
How many people in the U.S. are in jail right now for possession of marijuana? Probably the same.
We've had
amount.
this discussion before. Yes.
Oh, tons.
Yeah. So why are those two people still in jail?
There are some that were there when like you got a heavy sentence for it. Now it's a ticket, you know.
Yeah.
But those people are still serving 10 years in jail.
Yeah, everyone. We ought to be protesting this. I mean, if we're going to go to trouble to get them released from Russia, we should at least go to trouble to make sure our own people are taken care of. But we're really good about condemning others for things that we're doing.
Oh, we are that. Like I said, personally, and I'm glad Brittany Griner's home. Don't get me wrong. And I would love for, what was the guy's name? Whalen.
Whalen, I think he's the Marine.
Okay, yeah, I would love for him to be home. I can't remember the other gentleman's name that's in there.
Oh, is there two more?
There's another guy that was sentenced in 2021 for marijuana possession.
See, we didn't even hear about that.
No, you didn't. 14-year sentence is what he is serving.
So you would like to see them all.
I'd like to see them all home because, you know, if they're criminals, I'd rather them do time here than overseas. But that being said, we released a man who's responsible for theoretically millions of deaths.
Have you heard what he did? Do you know what he did? Do you know what he did? Well, basically what happened when the Cold War in the early 90s went out, he came in and he bought for pennies on the dollar all of the military supplies Russia had.
He's selling them.
Surface-to-air missiles. He had airplanes. He had 60 cargo planes that could basically go anywhere. He was feeding weapons to the Angolans, both sides of the Civil War. People,
Sudan, I mean, you name it.
They were using single-shot rifles. He brings in and gives them AK-47s to these young people.
He's responsible for untold deaths.
Yeah, and he got busted because he sold surface-to-air missiles to Colombians, and he told them, they said, we're going to use these to shoot down American planes.
Well, they weren't Colombians. They were actually, it was a sting.
It was a sting operation, but he thought he was selling to the Colombians, and they told him, said, we're going to shoot down American planes with this. He said, that's my enemy too.
But he don't care.
But the other side of this is the rest of the world thinks this is also an unfair trade, and I'm going to play something directly from Russian news here. This was actually on Crowder earlier today.
Here's what the Russia Today editor-in-chief, Margarita Simonyan, however I said it. Margarita, you wouldn't expect that for a Russian name. I have no idea. Daiquiri Simonyan had to say only a couple hours later, the very same day. It's not our transcript. She said this.
American voters were given a choice. A hero who suffered while serving his fatherland, and they're talking about a metal-covered hero who suffered during his service. They're talking about our...
Yeah, Whalen.
Yeah. Or a black lesbian hooked on drugs. That's how Russia is portraying this.
And they're portraying it in their benefit.
Black lesbian addicted to drugs. Now...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're portraying it in their benefit, but they're not far off.
No, they actually said our guy was a hero. Our Marine was a hero.
Now, I did see a report that he was dishonorably discharged. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I haven't heard any news
After
service.
he got arrested?
Well, no, this is, yeah. And supposedly he was, he was considered to be a spy. Newscast right here that talks about it. He had a flash drive that he had pictures he had taken around Russia and had his flash drive.
That mostly Biden administration and the left will claim a success for bringing Brittany Griner home. And, I think we pat them on the back. Okay, good, she's home. But it's also made them less trustworthy, right? And from my standpoint. But that's not the only thing. They've had a bad week this week. I guess you could say the last few weeks. Because the most hated man now, probably in the world, if you're a liberal or a left of center, is Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
And
nobody likes Elon right now.
And he has,
on the left anyway.
He has taken Twitter, flipped it upside down. First, he fired all the people that worked there. Now he's releasing evidence to show that Twitter has suppressed free speech, freedom of speech, that it was very motivated, very driven, that they were suppressing any story that was negative to a left-leaning Democrat, and that was not having the same approach on the right. He's been releasing now. He's released 4 different versions that he refers to as Twitter files. And the most recent was on how Twitter suppressed Donald Trump, specifically how they took information. It was, I think, even Michelle Obama was talking to him requesting that they remove Trump's Twitter handle, which they did on January the 8th.
Well, it's not like, I mean, this isn't really news. We knew it was happening. It's just taking this guy that now owns it going, oh, yep, I see it right here.
Do you find it so ironic? Elon Musk, who is, he claims to be a champion of free speech. He's created one of the largest electric vehicle, that's green, right? That's green energy, CO2 supposedly. Yet now he's the most hated man for the left. How ironic is that?
Well, it's not that ironic when you think about, typically speaking, I'm not going to say Democrats. I'll say, typically speaking, the progressive, when you step outside the narrative, they hate you. And so this is par for course. And I realize both sides have issues, but I feel like the left is untouchable. They know they're untouchable, so they can say whatever they want after the fact. Like when you can use racial slurs and nobody cares.
Late breaking, Jamie. There's now part 5.
Really?
It just came out, like, while we're recording this. So Twitter Files Part 5 reveals staffers who didn't believe Trump violated incitement policy. On the morning of January 8th, President Donald Trump, with one remaining strike before being at risk of permanent suspension from Twitter, made 2 tweets.
He was insane with some of them tweets, though.
Dude.
Oh, Trump machine throwing some stuff out there.
Yeah, I can see him sitting there and laying in bed drinking Dr. Pepper at 3 a.m, just like.
You know he drinks Coke.
Okay,
Oh,
so
Diet Coke. That's
these are some internal discussions that he shared with this latest. One, this is an internal person said, maybe because I am from China, this should scare the hell out of you. Maybe because I am from China, I deeply understand how censorship can destroy the public conversation. And this is somebody saying, no, you don't ban Trump. But voices like that one appear to have been a distant minority within the company. Across Slack channels, many Twitter employees were upset that Trump hadn't been already banned. The employees organized to demand their employer ban Trump. There's a lot of employee advocacy happening, said one Twitter employee.
Well, it'd be a lot less activism with what they got now, 50 employees.
I don't know. You just start firing a couple of them for not wanting to follow protocol and company guidelines.
Yeah, but company guidelines were.
All the other ones stopped. They like, okay, maybe we shouldn't protest this anymore.
Check out this back and forth for a while. So I just read that about the China. This is the response. I understand this fear, but I also think it's important to understand that censorship by a government is very different than censorship of the government.
Oh,
wow.
That's heavy-handed right there.
The First Amendment in the U.S. and similar legislation in other countries with similar concepts exist specifically to prevent the government from silencing the people. Wow. See, didn't you bring this up a few weeks ago that these platforms.
I talk about all kinds of crazy
Well, but but it was about the platforms and how that they aren't publishers.
Yes,
so they're not held accountable.
I can't remember what the FCC
ruling is. Yeah.
Code is.
But boy, this is really graying that line. What's that term you and Gary were using? It's the habitual
line stepper.
Yeah, this is really an habitual line. This is probably one of the most damning releases that he's made. Then it followed. I respect that, but realistically, we impose far stricter rules on effectively everyone else on the platform. We started labeling and restricting his tweets when they became a threat to democracy.
But then you run into the risk of who is making this, who's deciding what the risk is.
Exactly. Who is the one making
That's like hate
decision?
speech. I mean,
what the guy said sounded good about it, but however he worded it, being one being censoring the government and the other one being it's basically the same thing.
Yeah,
but then that means this person has accepted the power to be greater than the president.
Yeah.
Because if we can't allow our president to say whatever he wants to say, Lord knows they let Joe Biden say whatever the hell he wants to say.
You're reading emails from people who
actually tweets, but
tweets, yes, who feel like they are more intelligent than the average person.
That's exactly right.
When you have a woman that understands how things operate in China, and this is like foreshadowing that.
Is that
like,
not
it's the beginning?
Oh, that's a great term, foreshadowing.
This is where it starts, right?
Go look at one of the hardest anti-socialist groups in America, and they're Cubans, people who came over from Venezuela, all these Chinese, all these people who have lived through it want no desire to touch it.
Look, I'm going to give a drop right now for our episode on Thursday. Okay, this is probably one of the most researched episodes we're going to do or have done to date. Been putting it off because everybody's sick or busy, but we're going to cover it this week. It's going to be a part of our Thursday drop. You won't want to miss it. It's going to tell you what's going on in Canada. You'll be shocked. You'll think I'm making this crap up. I swear to you, you will. But it's foreshadowing of what could happen here, and we'll talk about how and why that could happen here. But this goes on in the Twitter file. We started labeling and restricting his tweets when they become a threat to democracy, and seemed like That was our red line. Yesterday, he clearly attempted to overthrow our democratic system of government and showed no sign of remorse.
But he had, I assume this was January 7th.
January 7th, exactly right.
Okay. Look, and people, I might get some hate for this. He had nothing to do with January 6th. He asked people to go home. He asked them to not be violent. He had, there's been far greater incited violence by Maxine Waters and Cory Booker and all these people than he has ever said. Telling somebody to go fight for your freedom is not the same as you go storm the Capitol and try to take it.
I still think if they don't let you take the Capitol, you don't take the Capitol.
Agreed.
But they didn't storm with the AR-15s, the big bad AR-15. They actually didn't. They just walk up to the Capitol and walk in.
They did, and I think a lot of that might be mixed with chaos and everybody not sure what's going on.
Well, there's also proven people from like Antifa, however you say it, and all those other people that were also there.
You can't convince me that there wasn't false flag operations in the FBI.
Oh, man, there was all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah. But like another great example of exaggeration is the gallows they had built. Has anybody seen a picture of the gallows? It was like 4 foot tall. A small child couldn't get executed on it.
I'm not going to read every
but
one
it was
of
a
these.
Symbol.
This was from actually January 6th, so it went backwards a little bit. So they referenced when Alex Jones was shut down for his "Get Your Battle Rifles" statement. Said that this far exceeds that. Then here at the end, this is the last one. Actually, there may be some more at the bottom, but it says, I understand he was our president, and that may have been the reason why we were hesitant to do it. But I think come January 20th, there is absolutely no excuse why this account shouldn't be suspended for good. They have friends with 100,000 followers that, hold on, where did this go? But anyway, these social media platforms become our as an American people, our primary source of information. This was proven, and it was actually believed back when Trump became president, that it was a source of disinformation, right? And that the communist Russian people came in, and that they actually gave misinformation that led to Trump's rise to power, which was later found to be a complete hoax, but it never was marketed as such. So we have these Twitter files. First was the Hunter Biden laptop story. Then we have this internal reckoning where people were not allowed the information. When you become trustworthy of a place like Twitter or Facebook or Google or Fox News, whichever one you trust for your news source, and a lot of times you vetted those and say, hey, I think this is the best. But when it turns and now they're only feeding you the information they want you to know, it's very dangerous. And this is no longer freedom of speech.
But it's so easy for them to manipulate the story. Go look at right after Ukraine, right when the Ukraine war started. Yep. So there's pictures of Zelensky walking around in a military attire. That was a parade or something for months before the combat even started.
We have a special guest showed up in the studio. We got Kyle. Y'all may remember Kyle from earlier episode.
What's up, Kyle?
How are y'all doing?
What's up, Kyle?
So, Kyle, what we're talking about here, we talk about a couple things. We talk about Brittany Griner being traded for he called him Angel of Doom, but the Lord of War. But what we're talking about now is Twitter. You've been following the Twitter files as your buddy Elon Musk has been releasing them?
No, I have not.
Oh, Kyle, you just missed it all. He came up with a new release today, and basically Twitter's been really limiting the information that gets out to the public. They ultimately banned Trump based on that information.
Well, it's not just Trump. There's been a large amount of people banned.
The last drop, actually, it was Dan Bongino that they had a big, and they're not just banning them. If you go search for these people on their platform, you can't find them. They have them shadow banned is the term. That ought to be the word of the year. What was that dumb word of the year that they came up with for the dictionary? Wobbly gobbly.
Gaslighting was the newest one.
Not that. No, not. There's been a new one.
I don't think gaslighting is a new word though, or a new.
Well,
phrase
it's not, but
it's just not real popular, right?
I think it was the word of the year or something like that.
Yeah, word of the year. That was a while back, but there was a new one. I saw
word of the year, penis.
Well, like just look at Andrew Tate.
Patio.
Yeah, Patio. Andrew Tate's been banned.
Patio
because he's misogynistic.
That means he runs around giving people massages.
That's it. He speaks the truth. He don't.
Okay, this is the one I just saw the other day. Goblin mode.
Huh?
Goblin mode.
Goblin mode.
That's
is
what
the word
that's
of
what
the
them
year.
old girls on Lamar are in goblin mode.
Goblin mode. That's the word on Lamar.
It is, have you guys ever heard of goblin mode?
No, I just gave my definition.
You're not hip, okay? Yeah. Let's do
It's a lady of the night does goblin mode for $20.
It's a
Why they
slang
gobble?
term. It's a
What do
slang
they
term.
gobble?
Gobble, 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 gobble.
It's the word of the day.
A slang term referring to a type of behavior which is unapologetically self-indulgent, lazy, slovenly, or greedy, typically in a way that rejects social norms or expectations. It's the Oxford's 2022 word of the year.
Okay, what does it mean? I'm confused.
A slang term referring to a type of behavior which is unapologetically
Yeah, we understand it has a
self-indulgent,
definition.
lazy,
but
slovenly. Let's see if I can use it in a sentence.
What does sloven mean?
Slovenly,
What does slovenly
like
mean?
lazy, not kept, that type of thing.
That come from the Slavs?
Let's use it in a sentence.
Yeah, I need it in a dirty sentence, please. That girl was in goblin mode.
goblin mode, slovelin on a nobbling. What is it? What's the word?
Goblin mode.
Goblin mode.
It's not, and that's two words. So
It's like beast mode.
Beast mode, but goblin.
that's when you're going ham on it.
slobbing on my goblin. What is goblin mode? Let's see. I want to hear it in a sentence. Here's an example. This weekend, I went into goblin mode and ate a bucket of ice cream in my underwear while watching reality show. Hell, I'm in goblin mode like every night. Little did I know. All right, I need a shirt.
Terry didn't
need
know
a
he
shirt.
was the ultimate
Dude,
goblin.
I am like goblin mode most of my life here. I didn't even know that.
You're the big gob.
Oh, look, I'm going to look up Urban Dictionary goblin mode. I can read it online. Or on
Use it in
air.
a bad sentence. Use it in a bad sentence, James.
Well, that's all it'll be on. This is, I'm disappointed. This is when you lose yourself, so you resort to becoming a goblin.
Define goblin.
That was the definition. Here's person one. I don't really know who I am anymore. Person two. Looks like you're going goblin mode. Goblin mode, when you're in extreme reckless mode, feeling very mischievous and lack of concern for the well-being of others.
They said this is but one word to summarize 2022, goblin mode. I would have maybe used that for 2020 because nobody left the house. All they did was get on Teams and Zoom, and I'm sure they was all goblin mode.
Man, read my shirt. My name is Essential. I was at work.
Okay. Did you hear what Elon Trump's in trouble for something else?
Elon Trump. Who's that?
Elon Trump.
It's Elon
He done
Musk's
married
cousin.
Donald.
That's the
All right.
ultimate villain.
All right, Elon Musk is in trouble for
listen,
something
if
else.
any
Again
left-
from the left.
The left hedge has exploded. Elon Trump.
Elon Trump. Now he can tweet all the time.
Hey, we need a shirt, Elon Trump 2028 or something weird like that. But no, so he got in trouble for something else. He tweeted. Of course, he's the master of the tweetosphere. Kyle, you're going to have to chime in on this one.
I'm behind it.
Oh.
All right.
All right, Kyle. You're welcome to come back in if you'd like. Let's see. So
Goblin mode.
But this made me think of the others. So he tweeted out that his pronouns were
I saw that. Yeah.
what was it? It was prosecute Fauci, right? Okay, so heads exploded.
I know. Yeah.
Woke heads exploded. Let me look up some details of this.
He is the greatest troll. Like, I honestly don't know if he
And
bought.
they can't ban him.
No.
They can't because he now he bought Twitter just so no one.
I don't know if he bought Twitter to make money or if he bought it just to flip off everybody. I don't know.
Then he didn't stop there because immediately people started attacking him for making fun of the pronouns. My pronouns are prosecute and Fauci, and so scoring point. Here's what it was: my pronouns are prosecute and Fauci. Must tweet it on Sunday. Scoring points with both critics of the use of non-binary pronouns and of Mr. Fauci, America's top immunologist. Okay, we'll argue about that at some point. Who disagreed with President Donald Trump on how to reopen the country in 2020. Did he really? I thought he gave him all of that. Anyway, Mr. Musk has previously criticized pandemic lockdowns, having defied one that affected Tesla factory in California. And who was right? Okay, do we even care? Do we care about right anymore?
No,
we
and we're so far past this. I mean, the fact that people still believe that
The lockdowns helped.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Musk's tweet drew predictable responses, including support from far-right figures like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. See,
that's far right.
But here's the deal, though. These news articles want to go get the extremes. Yeah.
I was surprised they say David Duke.
Some of Twitter noted that that Musk's own predictions about the pandemic fell short of reality. Okay, whatever. Mr. Musk also spread information about Mr. Roth. Who is that? Misleadingly suggesting that the former Twitter executive's doctoral thesis advocated for child sexualization. Okay, this is a new story.
Oh, you ain't heard this one?
No, I hadn't heard this. Actually, I was just looking for the part about his pronouns, but I guess I ended up going down into the abyss. So, as you can imagine, he set off a firestorm. Right, the far left, they's making fun of the non-binary.
Do they really need help making fun of themselves? What is that?
Was it a dog?
Oh no, I just slid that off the table. Look, we can argue back and forth whatever we want. The whole pronoun thing is stupid.
Yeah, so I was listening to someone also the other day. We only give thoughts that we hear other people because they're provocative, but they mentioned that people say my pronouns are they and them, right? They're non-binary, but the true non-sexual pronoun is it.
It should be, yeah. I mean,
but have you ever heard anybody that told you my pronouns are it?
No, but I got called some names when I called somebody it.
You did?
Yeah. You can't say that.
That's true.
You're here recently, yeah.
Yeah.
It the politically correct way to it. What is it?
Put that mic close to your mouth.
What is it? It's not a he.
Why does that sound weird, doesn't it? Sound kind of weird?
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe Gary just talks deeper and I've got more high pitch on that one. Anyway, yeah, what was that? Kyle, say it again, please.
Instead of saying he, she, or like whatever it is, it was politically correct. You didn't assume.
That's right.
He or she.
You didn't assume. So if, according to some pundits, to use someone's incorrect pronouns is
violence,
worse than death or killing someone. So how are you supposed to know someone's pronouns? Do you start your conversation with?
Listen,
I have never in my day started a conversation with anybody that I meet. Even what are your pronouns?
So in my day-to-day travels, I have run across people who I'm pretty sure are, if not trans, they are appearing a different gender than what they naturally are. And typically, I will call them whatever they look. So if you don't want to look like a man and you still look like one and I accidentally call you a man, don't take offense to it. That's just what you look like. I mean,
and is that wrong?
No. If there's a man that's trying to look like a woman and, I'm not going to go out of my way to insult him and say, you look like you're a man, you look like a woman. I don't know. I'm not checking you. That's just like the whole bathroom thing. I'm not going to check people. If a dude like me walks in a women's restroom, he ought to get his ass beat. But I'm not going to check.
Feminized person.
I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm not checking.
Close the door. I don't know that anyone would care.
Yeah, if nobody knows, it's
a moot point. It's the fact that someone who dresses like a man identifies as a woman.
That's where the argument gets skewed. Is the left tries to make it sound like when the right uses that argument, the left tries to make it sound like, well, you what do you want to check birth certificates or whatever?
I swore we weren't going to get into
that's
this.
gaslighting.
Oh, and you brought up about Brittany Griner. Do you want to go down that path?
Oh, you talking about that dude?
Well, so we talked about the Merchant of Death trading Brittany Griner, and then Jamie, of course, had told me about a post. I think it was on Instagram, probably all over social media.
It's everywhere, yeah.
Of pictures of her.
Well, he has his shirt off.
Yeah, and that maybe there's things pointing to the fact that Brittany Griner may have that
Brian Griner.
But is it possible that even if that picture is true, that she still has lady parts also? I mean, we know this has occurred with other athletes in other sports.
There's, you never know. She wasn't running around no pants on. She's flat chested. There's zero ever any tissue there. There's no scars where any tissue is removed. Her Her voice is as deep as mine. She has a pretty healthy Adam's apple. You know, so I mean, you take it for what you want.
Yeah, you sound kind of girlish though.
Well, I do. You know, I'm feminine.
Are we sure that beard is real?
It is. It is. There's bearded women, so you can't assume.
Look, I'm in a room here. Kyle came in, DW left. He had to take off, and then Gary's out. The bearded. So I'm surrounded by beards. I'm working on a goatee.
You are.
And it's probably thicker than it probably has been ever in my life. I had been clean shaven for many years. But what I want to share with you guys is December the 18th, 19th. We're going to give a little more information as the time gets closer. But we've got some friends out there that are, I'm pulling it up here.
What was the, I can't remember the name of the app.
So they're formerly known as Beardalizer. They're now Beardo. The brand decided that they were going to go Web3. For you, those of you not familiar with that, it's actually along the lines of crypto. And they're dropping 3,333 unique NFTs of the Beardos. It's a digital identity. And what will happen is if you own one of these, you'll be able to attend virtual concerts. So it's kind of a neat idea. They've got a new metaverse that they're created called Beardoverse, where live concerts and shows will take place only for collectible holders. 5 free beard products in the marketplace with a value of $120, 50% off the marketplace as long as you hold a Beardo in your wallet. So we'll give you a little bit more information about it. You can go to OpenSea and look for Beardo. They're going to drop on December the 18th, but only for pass holders. Pass is sold out already, but folks can still get one on OpenSea for around $3 to $5. So look, who knows? This could turn into something, but go out and check out Beardos.
Yeah, I'm fixing to get me an NFT.
NFT?
Yeah, because you got to have Marty Ray's doing a live concert on the 19th.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
So he's going to be the Beardo. So we can go. We need to have VR headsets to do that. I got one.
I doubt it.
You need to find out more about it.
I will. The gentleman I talked to said he'd get me more information. Check
out Beardo on OpenSeas. I'm going to have some links in our website if you want to go check it out to get you to OpenSeas and a little more about Beardos. But check it out. We'll try to find out a little more about it. So good luck to those guys. We're going to try to support you and our good friend Marty Ray. Let's hit some hot takes before we get out of here, okay?
Absolutely.
And this is like news hot off the press. Ooh, Pete Buttigieg is catching heat because flight data exposes that taxpayers funded trips on private jets.
They all do that. They all do that. That's a politician for you.
Yeah.
Another hot take. Human Rights Commissioner in Massachusetts quits after, this is pretty good, after mocking God, blasting trash Christians amid Christmas tree spat. Commissioner Diane Loud mocked God as a magic sky daddy and called Christmas happy horses. A member of a Boston, I said that correctly, Suburbs Human Rights Commission resigned after posting that profanity-laden post to Facebook. What is wrong with people? You know what? Don't celebrate Christmas.
Surprised they resign.
Yeah, I have a big issue.
You can dump on Christianity all you want, but it's like other religions, you can't do it.
No, that's frustrating right there.
That's exactly right. This is not about freedom of religion. It's about freedom of Christianity is what it's become.
Yeah, but people want the right to bash Christians and don't touch Muslims, don't touch Jews. You know, either you support religious rights or you don't.
But look, Christmas is a Christian holiday.
Exactly. If you don't,
you can call it Happy Holidays. You can call it Xmas, but it is the birth of Jesus Christ.
If you want to remove Christ from it, then don't celebrate it.
You can celebrate something else. So, F her. Twitter users pushed to boycott Tesla after Elon Musk tweets his pronouns are prosecuting Fauci. So, I told you that. And what's ironic, this is really funny, Jamie. I wish I thought this earlier. Actor Billy Baldwin tweeted, retweet if your pronouns are boycotting Tesla. Somebody asked Billy Baldwin, says, why is your brother still out of jail after killing somebody?
I saw that. That's a great one.
Yeah. All right, another news story. Yeah. Did you guys watch the SEC championship game?
I did not.
All right, we did.
Kyle, did you watch it?
I didn't watch it.
Well, at halftime, they do the Dr. Pepper, throw the balls into the big Dr. Pepper can.
Mm-hmm.
They had 2 young ladies out there doing so, and they tied. So they went into extra 10 seconds. Well, they tied again. Yet somehow they had pre-decided that in a tie, this one would win, and the crowd just booed the hell out of them.
Well, they should.
I agree. And I told my wife, I said, Dr. Pepper will pay both of those girls by the time it's over with. And sure enough, by the time game was over, they came back and awarded both individuals $100,000.
Yeah, but you can't stop looking stupid.
No, you can't. And, that $100,000, they spent a lot more than that just by them screwing up and claiming it a tie.
You know what's crazy about this, too, is that will not affect their sales. One way or the other, it will not affect Dr. Pepper's sales.
Nope.
But the mentality of these corporations is we made somebody mad, we'll lose billions of dollars. Have you ever seen a boycott work? No, let me take that back. In modern times.
It depends.
Oh, well, name one.
Does it work?
And don't bring up a lunch counter from 1957.
So there's a lot of examples of successful boycott campaigns.
Give them to me.
All right.
Now, successful by the terms of the company losing money, or successful of the company just bowing to public opinion?
Well, let's see what they say. Recent examples.
States.
Okay, here's one considered the permanent ban of Donald Trump's Twitter account. Yeah, okay. In February of 2021, a decade-long PETA campaign, Fortnum and Mason decided to stop selling foie gras. Okay, who cares? Kirin was criticized for years for its ties with the Myanmar military, having maintained. But where's the? Okay, let's see. I don't see anything here that.
No. It's look. Here's a good example. How many people said I'm done with Disney? Disney when they had whatever that pissed off the rights the last time. Disney, their stock market's dipped a little bit, but they're going fine.
Yeah, but that's more for their woke agenda that they put than this.
Yeah, but people aren't. You know why people aren't going to Disney anymore? Because it's gotten more expensive.
It's too expensive. Everything's too expensive. No, all of these lists that are claiming success
are just companies that just.
I think it's more about woke. It's more about
just companies bowed to
the woke agenda than it is truly a boycott.
Disney's boycotted in China for their for pushing homosexuality in their shows. They have to change movies and stuff over there. They won't allow it to be released.
Well, that's why Red Dawn originally, the new remake of Red Dawn, which is actually terrible, was originally about China, and they switched it to be in North Korea after production ended, simply because of pressure from the Chinese. Okay, so I think you're right, Jamie. I think it was more they bowed to the woke agenda. Look, that's about all I got. What's your last words you want to say on this Tuesday drop this morning for me?
My last word.
What's the last thing you want people to know today? What should they know today? This is Tuesday morning, December the 13th.
I got it.
Yep.
Transfer portal. It is getting out of hand.
The transfer
portal in college football. It is insane. I think last time I checked, there was 1,000 athletes that have entered the portal. Now they will not leave their schools,
but they're putting their fillers out there because this is no longer about just a college education. It's about how much money I can make while I'm in college.
Correct. But you can't even learn a program in a year's time.
No, you can't.
Especially if you're a freshman out of high school.
Look, next week we're going to do an in-depth review of the college portal and how many of these kids are actually making money when they change schools. Let's find out. Let's take a look into it. Let's do a deal. We'll give you an update next week.
I mean, imagine being the third quarterback on your team. You go to the portal and you're the 700 quarterback on the list now.
Well, I think most of them are trying to go where they're going to play rather than being down that list. But yeah, we'll look at that.
They're going to get more views.
That's what everybody's thought is. Well, you know what? This kid in San Francisco the last 2 weeks that came in to play quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant, is a good example, right? I mean, he got drafted, and then he's having a heck of a couple of games. We'll see if it continues. Kyle, is there anything, parting words you'd like to share with the audience this week?
Thank you for having me on. I came in as a surprise.
From my point of view, remember the reason for the season. We are here because Christmas is only 2 weeks away. We've got about 2,700, I think, views or so. We're trying to hit that 3,000 mark. Would love to do before Christmas, but go like us, go find us, tell your friends about us. And we got another surprise coming for you. We're going to start at least at the first of the year, and we'll share with you that.
Kyle, you going to this concert with us?
Yeah, I'm going.
Oh yeah, I thought you said you had. I couldn't remember.
January 21st.
I'm ready. We'll have a good crowd with us. I hope they sell alcohol there.
We can bring our own.
Oh, I'm gonna have alcohol. That I'm confident of. Outlaw.